or stop.
Alrighty, good morning everyone. Good morning fam. What's going on? How's everyone doing? What's your mental state at after the past 5 days of whipsaw price action? How's everyone doing? Everyone good on the audio? If my mics, or not my mic, sorry, if my mouse stops working sometime during the stream, I'm gonna apologize ahead because I need to buy a new mouse and it's been fucking up. Good morning, good morning. All right, let's get into it. Audio's good, you're stressing. Nah, don't be stressing, man. Is it over? It's never over. It just is what it is. Sometimes the market goes up. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes sideways. The market's never over. There's always money to be made, man. Almost got ticked out of your short, patience paid. I think there was clean trades on both sides, man. This the past few days and whatever. The short was, I didn't take the short, but like I took the TP. I just didn't inverse my position, but I mean, I don't think you could have more overlapping confluence of resistance in this location. This is your point of breakdown, the bottom end of your 20-day composite, the bottom end of like the 2-month composite, mid-range, yearly open, daily trend, daily 100, right? There's just infinite levels. It doesn't matter if you're trading EMAs or VWAPs or volume profiles or ranges or market structure. Like everyone was kind of in confluence. That's a good place to take profit if you caught the long, and if you caught the short, GGs. How stoked are you that you moved to the East Coast so you were awake when Trump and company decided Sunday was a good day to shake up markets? I think, well, definitely yes, stoked, but like I can't explain to you how much better it is trading on the East Coast versus the West Coast just in general. Like not missing those pre-market entries. There's always like directional volatility a couple hours before New York Open, in my opinion. When I used to trade the H1, H4 system, a lot of entries came in the middle of the night. They came at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Pacific time, and those like 2, 3 a.m. trades are now 5, 6 a.m. trades, which is what I'm used to waking up anyways. And yeah, just being kind of ready and prepared for New York Open instead of having New York Open at 6:30 in the morning. It's a game changer. It's a life changer, man. So much better. If you have the means to move, if you're a trader on the West Coast and you have the means to move, do it not only for tax purposes, but do it because I think, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I think the time difference will make a difference in your trades. Can you give us a roadmap for what you expect to happen in the next 3, 6, and 12 months? If I could predict the future, I wouldn't be here. I would literally be a billionaire, trillionaire if I could predict the future. But I can make speculations. But there's honestly no value in speculations, in my opinion, like other than brainstorming ideas. So when you speculate, what you're basically doing is going, A can happen, B can happen, C can happen, D can happen, and probability of A is maybe this percent, probability of B is this percent, and how would I position? So you're just making plans for yourself and drawing out X's and O's of, if this happens, then I will respond this way, I'll be wrong this way. That's the value of speculation, quote unquote prediction. Other than that, just being like, I think the market will be at $300,000 in 3 months, and then $200,000 in 6 months, and then $900,000 in 12 months. There's no value in that at all. And the sooner you can kind of let go of that part of your kind of day-to-day thought process, the better off you'll be. Let me scroll up in chat, see if I missed anything, and let's get into the Bitcoin outlook. Just a bunch of good mornings, man. Good vibes. Appreciate you all for being here. I want the charts on your... Oh, okay, I know who that is. I want the charts on your Marvel Rivals character win rates. Bro, the only positive win rate character I have... Or no, there's two. There's Cloak and Dagger, Thor. I don't know what Namor is. I just started playing Namor, so I don't know what my Namor win rate is. I assume that it's good, but I'm not going to pull it up on stream, bro. People don't want to see that. Good morning, good morning. All right. Really thought we could get a pump into the summit. Is that the summit? Is that the White House crypto thing? I don't think that's an event. I don't think that's worth trading around. That's my personal immediate opinion. Okay, TradeCoin. I'll get into these questions in a bit. How many trades have you taken in February? Quite a few. Quite off the top of my head, at least 20, 30, maybe more. I don't know, man. 20 to 30. Okay, so Bitcoin outlook here. So this is something I speculated on in Paragon a little bit. I just kind of threw out this game plan that 79K could be our potential low. And the only reason I did that is because we were bracketing in a very tight range here. This comes from just experience in markets that, you know, Bitcoin is almost holding up too well. And if we're going to get bullish continuation, whether it happens soon or 3 months from now, we need a bigger shakeout, right? These high to low moves were just too pathetic. 15%, 18%, whatever. They're too easy. They're too pathetic. They're not big enough. They're not big enough drawbacks or drawdowns and pullbacks. If you just take the kind of game plan and blueprint of this cycle, 20 to 25% has been our base case pullback on Bitcoin. All of these pullbacks are like somewhere between 20% to 25%. The worst one that we got was 30%. But basically, if I had to take an average of all of them and just guess off the top of my head, it's probably like 23, 24% average pullback. We've got 9 or 10 of them this cycle. The fact that we were getting like 15% pullbacks in this just felt too easy, right? So at a certain point, it was going to happen. Now, I didn't believe that it was going to happen here. The trigger for me to be like, okay, this could trade down a lot more was very, very simple. It's just we're losing the composite value. So we had 20 days of value built. That's this dark shaded area that I have on the screen here. I'll just pull it up again. Right? So we built a very tight composite and it's just 3%, right? Low to high, 2-3% moves, basically no volatility for 20 days. Anytime you bracket like this, if you break out of something like this, you're going to get violent moves in whatever direction it breaks out, right? I was pretty optimistic that this would actually break out to the upside, right? We had the weekly trend at our feet. We're holding this pretty well. We were getting big pukes into here. I was optimistic that it could break out to the upside. But when you start accepting outside of this and you're not getting wicks outside and sucking back up into, moving back up into the composite value and you're basically accepting below it, that really opens up lower prices. Now, along this downtrend, I took many kind of mean reversion scalps, nothing with the confidence that this could be kind of our swing long to 100K or whatever like that. The only level that I had was 79K, which is the 2024 value area high, right? If we take the 2024 value area high, I've actually had this, for anyone who's been watching the streams, I haven't been talking about it, but this line has been here on my chart for months, right? That was just kind of like a, maybe one day we'll tag this. Maybe 2 months from now, 3 months from now, we'll tag this. So we actually did get this level. It provides a perfect range low. If you take a measured move from range high to range low, let me put on the mid range. That mid range right here becomes your yearly open, right? So your yearly open becomes your perfect mid range level. That was kind of my speculation, that 2024's alt value area high, the confluence of the yearly open, the mid range, and our range low could be that low. I stuck my neck out. I took this trade. I didn't get the 79 entry. I was like 83 or 82 or something like that. And we got a mega bounce. Now where we're bouncing into, like I said at the top of the stream, very clear resistance, right? It's just the most obvious resistance you can imagine. Doesn't matter what your system is. Now from here, what I would like to see as a bull, like if I'm going to frame my mindset as a bull right here, what I need to see is not that big of a pullback after this V-shaped recovery. I would like to see maybe this point of breakdown. So this is the last kind of up move before kind of the final devastation and climax of selling. Breaking above this is very valuable. The confluence here on low time frames is going to be the 4-hour trend and that point of breakdown, right? So this region right here, hyper valuable region to hold for bulls. I can just move this down. It really doesn't matter. But basically, I would love to see some kind of fresh value building in here where we're not giving bulls turbo, like amazing pullback entries. And bears who want to short this and look for lower are kind of comfortable being like, I can be short 92, I can be short 93, right? Whatever. If we can somehow get above and back into our 2-month composite, which is this gray band right here, I really believe that we're going to trade to the opposite side. So if we can start holding above 94K, holding above the yearly open, and breaking above a local composite that builds here, I think 102, maybe we run February's high, there's a little bit of an overextension, is in the cards for sure. So that's the play that I'm looking for. While we're in this, it's all about low time frame intraday mean reversion. For me, that's all I'm going to be focused on. I'm not looking for these, swing trades. I'm not placing an entry here with a stop loss here. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not taking 4-hour trend trades. I'm not even kind of trading this as a range. I'm simply looking for low time frame intraday mean reversion trades. That's going to be my bread and butter, as it has been over the last 2 months. So that's Bitcoin. Moving on to ETH. Disappointing, dog shit, who cares about it, looks ass, has nothing going for it other than this mega high time frame range. Once again, it's back at range lows. The thing that we've seen on ETH this entire cycle, so like I pointed out to you guys, the characteristic of Bitcoin, right? A lot of people like to point to the 2013 cycle and the 2017 cycle and the 2021 cycle. Why would you do that when this cycle has its own characteristics? The characteristics that Bitcoin has shown you is markup sideways for multiple months, 6 months or whatever, markup, 6-month range, markup, 6-month range, corrections and being in the 20%. What has ETH shown you? ETH has shown you markup, 2-month reaccumulation range, 2-month reaccumulation range, 2-month reaccumulation range. Why would I expect anything else other than a 2 to 3 month accumulation range down here before we're ready to break out again? No narratives, nothing going for it, unless something changes, maybe an ETH staking ETF or something like that. I don't expect anything from ETH. Solana, very clear values to work with on Solana. This is your 2024 composite. This is something that I also tweeted about last week or over the weekend, that we basically, once we're trading into this, we're going to trade to the other side, holding the bottom of the 2024 composite value area low. Very clean trigger, very clean entry. Again, trading back into that composite value area high, confluence with the prior range low, and then trading into your daily downtrend, right? So a whole bunch of things here that are going to serve as resistance while we're in this area. Low time frame trading is ideal. High time frame positioning, like I have marked out here, is the most ideal, right? Trade back above, new invalidation. Trade down below, new invalidation. Where we are right now, complete no man's land mid-range. A very tough place to position. All right, let me take a pause there. Check chat. How strong is the yearly monthly open? What value does it bring? I think the yearly open is pretty valuable when it's a level that's in the middle of the chart. It's just something to trade around, right? And so here's how I'll put this. With any level, whether it's an EMA, a range low, a composite low, a yearly open, a daily open, Monday's high, Monday's low, they are tools that you can use when you don't have many things going for you in the chart. You kind of identify these levels, you look for reactions at the level, and you understand, is the chart actually respecting this? Are other traders actually trading around this? And when you get the idea that they are, you can kind of add that and use that, right? The yearly open, when we got the yearly open, it's been a level that the market is traded around, right? We got the puke into the yearly open, or excuse me, the yearly open opened on a puke, right? Down here, this is the black line. We traded up, we traded below, basically taking out the yearly low, taking out the yearly open. We held it as support. So this is the market showing me the affinity to trade around this level. So when we come back into this levels, it's obviously a place to defend. When we lose it, it's obviously a place to defend for bears, right? Same concept goes for value areas, same concepts go for VWAP, same concepts go for EMAs, price action, liquidity, you name it, right? When enough participants are using it, when the chart starts giving you that idea that this is the meta that we're going to use, this is a very key level that we're going to use, use it. Let me give you an example. 2023, there was a lot of like very, very good traders, very respected traders in the industry that were saying we need to retest the 2023 yearly open. Right? And they were hyper obsessed with this level, right? They were saying that this level has to be tested. The 2023 yearly open level has to be tested. It's a flat body candle. We went up only. And they were biased into that. We've never tested it. This is down to 17K. We went to 108K, right? So just because it's a level does not mean it's necessary to be used. You're basically looking for reactions around the level and wondering to see, is the market going to respect this? Are we going to trade around this? Is it valuable? Should I be paying attention to it? So it's an idea. It's not anything, nothing surefire. The point of control is just the area that the maximum amount of volume is traded within a composite value. I don't think opening trades at the POC is the ideal situation. I think it's just like mid-range. So if you use the concept of a range, right? You have your range low, you have your range mid, range high, range low, range mid. If you want to be trading a range, you're basically trading range low, reverting it to range mid. Maybe you leave runners to range high. If you're fading range high, you take profits at range mid. Maybe you leave runners to range low. Same concept with the POC. If you're getting mean reversion, you basically don't want to be hyper confident that we're just going to blow past the POC, right? That's a point of like stickiness. That's the maximum amount of volume is being traded there. If you blow through it, yes, maybe you're going to get continuation. Same thing with like mid-range and stuff. There's nuance to this. Like everything that I've just explained here is very ABC. It's not like I'm not giving you the nuance takes here. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this kind of stuff to think about. And it all depends on how the chart is shaping up, what the actual other contextual clues are, what the market structure is like, what the EMAs are like, what the VWAPs are like, what liquidity is like. All these things matter too, but in a nutshell, the POC, you can think of it as like your mid-range, right? It's not an area to open up fresh trades, but if you get extremities of value, you're reverting it into the mean, which would be the POC, right? Same concept as a VWAP. If you're trading a VWAP, right, and you get a reversion off range mid, or excuse me, off the value area low, you take that reversion trade into the VWAP. You don't open fresh trades at the VWAP, right? How many trades have I already answered that? Do you think this is a higher low bounce? I don't know, but I can tell you that this is a very clean level. The 4-hour trend, point of breakdown, confluence, very, very clean level to work with right here, right? And I've already explained my bias on Bitcoin. I've already explained how I believe or not believe, want it to bracket here. And if we're getting this clearance above yearly open, composite value area low, daily downtrend, I do think it's going to trade to 102K. Look at grass, please. I'll look at alts in a bit. Could you explain composite value? I do it in, I mean, there's so many videos out there on value. So it's just this. It's the value, it's the fixed range volume profile tool. Basically, you know, prices just ping ponging between two levels for a very long time. You can put fixed range volume profile tool on the chart, and it's going to give you your value area high, your value area low, and your POC, right? And that's basically your composite, right? So composite is another area for, another word for just value area, right? So this dark highlighted gray and this light highlighted gray is basically just telling you the value areas in this range. Are you good at FA? No, not really. I know enough to make educated decisions, but not enough to be like, this coin's fundamentals are better than this coin's, and this is this, and this tech is better than that tech, and this L1 is better than this L1, and I don't really even care. To be honest, I don't think that's going to give me an edge, but maybe I'm wrong and we eventually revert back to fundamentals in crypto. We are not a fundamental-based industry at the moment at all. Look at XRP getting included in the strategic reserve, and Cardano getting included. It's all politics and hype and crime. It's not it's not fundamentals. Would revisiting 85K invalidate on certain time frames, right? Like I said, this is the context that I'm working with on a high time frame. I've said since December, right? December 8th or December 10th. When did this happen? December 20th. My bias since this has been range for longer, right? So my high time frame, mega high time frame bias is just range for longer, right? This is the speculative range that I'm working with at the time, 79K to 108K. That's the high time frame range, similar to this range, right? This is what I'm working with. So revisiting 85K invalidate my bullish bias? Absolutely not. I wouldn't even say that I have a bullish bias. I just, I'm pretty neutral, and my bias is if we go sideways long enough on altcoins and we go sideways long enough on Bitcoin, I believe that we're going to have another markup across the board. And for Bitcoin of kind, no, I didn't explain on the public stream what I would see, but there's a little bit of sauce in what we see as far as like range breakout goes with fresh bullish market structure, reclaims of EMAs, reclaims of trends. So I think you have time, right? I don't think this is running away from us in one day. And like I said, like the very clean triggers, if you hold above 94K, you have a trade to 102, 103, right? Or 102, right? Let's call it. Trade above 94, you have a trade to 102. If you can capitalize on that, right? And then we hold in these values and we set a higher low in here, there's possibilities that we're developing that fresh, bullish, new market structure that can break us out of this range. If I join Paragon, do I need TradingView Premium to keep up? I think in general, someone asked me this question last week on the stream. I think in general, like you can trade price action concepts and liquidity and EMAs on like the free version of TradingView. And I think you can do two charts, right? So you can do like a split screen, two charts, whether you want to show two different charts or the same chart on different time frames, you can do that. But you can only add like 2 to 3 indicators. You can't use volume tools. So you can't use like fixed range volume profile tools. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's missing from the free basic version. But what I will tell you is you don't need all these bells and whistles to be profitable long term. You need, like, simplicity is key. For me, starting out as a trader, all I did was use price action liquidity concepts. And for that, you don't need a bunch of stuff. You could use basic tools on TradingView. These things are here if you're interested in them, if you're interested in using them. Then you're going to need, TradingView, whatever those levels are, basic, beginner, pro. I don't even know what they're called, premium. Yeah, you're going to need some of that kind of stuff to add more indicators if you want them. Do you maintain a long-term spot portfolio? I have a cold storage Bitcoin stack. I positionally trade spot on altcoins. I held alts from September and October into this rally and sold into this. I bought altcoins in this breakout right here on October 23rd. I bought Solana down here. I've positionally spot traded altcoins on high time frames for several weeks and months and quarters and even years, like PEPE. Part of my PEPE stack I bought in 2023. So I've been holding it for 2 years, right? So there's a lot of positional trading going on. I don't look at anything as an investment other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only thing that I would consider an investment. Everything else is a speculative trade, and trades can take many forms. Sometimes they're on spot, sometimes they're on perp, sometimes they're 1 minute charts, sometimes they're 6-week trades, sometimes they're 3-month trades, sometimes they're a couple year trades, but they're all trades in my mind. That's how I would explain it. Can I explain my system? That would take the entire stream. If you watch my streams, you get an idea of the system. I've talked about it infinite number of times. If you are somebody that's interested in educating yourself, all the value is out there on the YouTube already, man. You just got to put in the work. It's unfair to everyone else watching right now if I go and explain the system over the next 30 minutes and stuff like that when it's already. If you just watch my streams every week, you'll pick up on it too. Can you show me one more time on what candle to start? It's discretionary. Some people use this candle, some people use that candle. I basically just look at it as like, where's the start of the range? Where did this value start building? Where did we start going sideways, right? And it's kind of generally in here. So you could take this candle, you could take this, you could take this. It's not going to matter that much because when you get a lot more data, 1 or 2 candles not going to be the hugest thing ever. And your lines are not gospel, right? Like we trade below them, we trade above them, right? So the line itself is not the most, excuse me. It's not like the Bible, right? You're not taking it as gospel. It's not the word of God, right? You deviate under levels and deviate above them. So, I used this one right here. You can use a prior one. You can use one after. You can start it over here. Generally speaking, it's not going to be the biggest issue. So if I have to start drawing one over here, right, for example, I'm going to say, where did this composite start building? Where did we start trading between these two values, right? And I can just generally take this candle, right? I can generally just take that candle. I can take this one too, the next one too, right? The longer we build in here, the more obvious it's going to be what levels we're trading in between, right? The value areas haven't really changed between using this candle and this candle. It's generally speaking, still the same thing. The longer this builds sideways, the more the value areas will change. Like those levels will go up and down on their own. All right, I'm going to look at some altcoins real quick, and then we'll get back to questions. Let me catch up real quick. What time are the private Paragon streams and what day? They are 9 a.m.? Hold on. How do I even forget? 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. 10 a.m. Eastern time. So you're going to have to convert that to your time. Would you say that the markets are linked to one another, bonds to stocks, crypto, and so forth? I'm not a macro guy. I don't pay attention to macro. I find no edge in macro, and I try not to correlate them too much to stocks. The only thing that I'll look at occasionally is how the ES and NASDAQ are doing. And if they're holding high time frame trends, which they are still, I'm comfortable continuing to play crypto the way that I want. The meta has been established since 2023, 2022, 2023, right? We've been in the same kind of meta on stocks and crypto and everything like that. When that meta shifts, I'll shift my game plans. That's pretty much all I really look at. You said in your 2024 review video that FA matters. I thought you wanted to focus more on that. I want to focus more on that as far as spot pickups go on low caps. At the moment, though, I'm finding a lot of value in my low time frame trading. And one thing that I'll tell you as far as like trading goes in markets, you need to hyper focus on a few things and not divert all your time and energy across everything, right? So if I find, like basically for FA, right? Let me give you an example. If I decide to take a couple month break from trading just for whatever reason, right? If I just feel like, I'm going to take a little break from trading, that is when I'm going to take that time and not just waste my life and get no value out of it. That's the time where I'm going to be like, okay, how do I learn about fundamental analysis? Does it matter in crypto? Can I find some edge in here? And I'm going to need to see the market start rewarding fundamental analysis, right? I'm going to need to see that coins that, coins that provide more value are actually being re-rated to where they deserve instead of staying at undervalued regions, right? What I'm seeing right now is still hype fuels the market. And people position the things that they like, that are hyped, that are talked about a lot, that have influencers and KOLs talking about them, not specifically fundamentals, in my opinion. I don't use fibs, so yeah, I'm not going to explain fibs. Does Charlie use spaghetti to see where attention is and flowing? Yes, Charlie is a master at spaghetti, bro. If you want to learn spaghetti, you learn it from Charlie. I am definitely not a master at using this. The only times that I find a lot of value on spaghetti is when we get massive pukes across the market. So if we get very big pivot points, right? Let me try to scroll out and find like... So when we get these big rallies, I'm basically just looking at what coins are leading, right? What coins are getting the biggest bid off the lows, and then I go to those charts and see if I can find trade setups in there. I'm not really trading alts right now, so I'm not even using this. But yeah, generally speaking, when I traded a lot of altcoins, this was like for years. When we get big pukes, I would definitely pay attention to which altcoins are ripping the hardest and then look for setups on those coins. Charlie somehow is able... I don't know how he does this with his autism. I really don't know. And I know he has tons of educational videos in Paragon on this, but he's able to like look at this noise and spot trends that are emerging in this and be like, oh, that coin looks like it's being stronger than the pack. That coin is deviating from the pack. Are there trades on this that I can take? Just subscribed. I appreciate that, man. What's your reason for not trading alts? It's just what I'm trading right now. I'm trading low time frame, mean reversion, 1 minute charts intraday. And I find that the signals on majors are very, very clean. And I've tested this system for exactly a year now. I started doing this in March of last year, and I've gotten very comfortable with it over the past year. And I basically have been trading majors. I find that they give me the most consistent, clean signals. So there's no point in trading a bunch of coins. I don't need to trade 50 coins. And this is when it came back to like trading alts on 1 hour, 4 hour charts as well. I would have a very small watch list for the week. I would only trade like 3 or 4 coins. I would pull up a watch list of 3 or 4 coins. And if I got a rhythm with one coin, I would literally just trade that one coin for like weeks until I lost the rhythm with that coin. And then I'd look for a new setup. My mic is cutting in and out. Here, let's do this. Is it like that for everyone? My mic's cutting in and out. What I'm going to do is I'll refresh the stream. If it pauses, you guys might just have to wait like 30 seconds and refresh. Let me do that real quick. Okay, we should be back. We should be back. Are we back? I should have listened to chat before refreshing then, but either way, we should be good now. There should be no issues. Can you please see FARTCOIN? Yeah, I'll do alts in a little bit. Where do you execute spot trades? Yeah, not Coinbase. Coinbase, you can actually, there's a setting on Coinbase where you can like do Coinbase Advanced or something. I don't use Coinbase for trades, but yeah, you can do Coinbase Advanced, and it's just like an option in their app, and it takes you to their advanced terminal, and then the spot fees go down drastically. So definitely make sure you're using like Coinbase Advanced. Does moving averages trading work the same in low time? It works pretty well. Sometimes you'll catch really clean trends on low time frame. Right? Sometimes. Look at our big downtrend. We had like several moments in this downtrend where we're getting bullied by low time frame EMAs. This is the 5 minute, right? There's plenty of times where you're getting bullied by 5 minute EMAs. Do I have a TradFi equity portfolio? Yeah, I just speculate on it the same way that I do in crypto. Since I'm crypto native, crypto trader, mainly trade crypto, I trade crypto stocks, which is, you know, I can pull this up. I actually think coin looks pretty good here. I think this looks really interesting. Really clean SR on high time frame since listing. Market's respecting it, and you've got your high time frame EMAs moving up. So you've got confluence of the EMA, high time frame trend. You still got the bullish market structure, right? You still have bullish market structure in this entire thing, right? So really clean level to work with here on Coinbase. Are we giving signals? I don't do the whole cringe, like, this is my entry, this is my stop loss, this is my take profit, this is the, you know, tool. I give infinite number of ideas of trades. Whether I take them all or not, it's a different story, but I'm constantly just providing like thoughts across the market. And then when I take trades, yeah, I definitely tell people like I'm taking trades. I tell them like every move in my spot portfolio. That was actually a suggestion from one of the members last year in September or something like that. And they're like, hey, it'd be really interesting if you could share all your spot moves with us. So I did that too. I opened up like a spot portfolio positioning channel where I basically just share all my spot trades, and I'm buying this, I'm selling it here, this is the idea, and whatever. When I take 1 minute trades, it's impossible to give signals on 1 minute charts, right? Because I honestly think copy trading is like very mid curve in the first place, because what people will do when it comes to copy trading, and I did this early on in my journey too, when I wanted to like steal someone else's trade, if they post a setup and they're just like, I'm longing here, right, and whatever, I'll see it like 2 hours later, and I'll be like, oh my god, I missed the entry, let me just FOMO in higher, and now my RR is looking like this, right? Some dog shit like that. So I don't think people have the discipline to copy trade, and especially when you're trading 1 minute charts, it's actually impossible, because I'm seeing the triggers in real time, and I want to focus on my trades. I don't want to basically go and type it in somewhere and be like, I longed this, actually 2 minutes later I cut this, I longed this again, I took profit here, I'm scaling out this percent, whatever. I'd rather teach you guys the tools repeatedly over time so you guys could do this yourselves. But yeah, I share trades when I take them. I share trades, but it's not a signals group. Paragon is an educational group. Still checking Clinic DMs? No, I haven't opened up the Clinic account in months. What would you suggest from getting like high time frame, low time frame trading? Practice. I find it harder, but I want to learn it. I know it's almost the same. Maybe you have some advice for it. Practice. It's the same as anything. Any time frame you want to trade, you need practice, you need reps, you need discipline, you need a framework for risk management, you need a framework for entry triggers, you need to understand your invalidations. And what does that come from? Experience, right? You can learn from me, you can learn from a bunch of people in this industry that trade really well, and take their blueprint or framework for their ideas and their trades and build a system based on that, and then have the discipline to execute when you get your triggers, and then practice and practice and practice and practice and practice the same way you would with high time frame trading, spot trading, medium time frame trading, low time frame trading, scalping, order flow, EMAs, VWAPs, anything in the market. It's all the same, man. What time frame do you trade the most? Right now, it's 1 minute charts. I'd say 95% of my trades are on the 1 minute chart. Paragon get access to the clinic bands? You mean the EMAs? Yeah. When grass chart? When you have patience. Same as trading, brother. You gotta have patience. I'll get into altcoins in a bit. When I start getting into altcoins, here's what happens, guys. Here's why I don't do it in the beginning of the streams. Everyone just wants me to chart their altcoin. What do you think about this altcoin? What do you think about this altcoin? What do you think about this altcoin? And then it just turns into a very boring stream where the value is just being provided in terms of one person asks about one coin, I answer one person's questions, the other 150 people are just waiting, and we rinse and repeat. Everyone gets bored. I get bored. My energy goes down. So what I try to do is provide the most value in the beginning of the streams, and then I go into like chart requests and altcoins a little bit later. Coin looks like it broke the weekly trend using Pierre's numbers, but respecting yours. I mean, Pierre is who I learned trend trading from, right? But it's not I don't use his system. I don't use his EMAs, but the concepts are what matter more to me, right? It's the concepts, it's the ideas, it's the invalidations. It's not, you know, someone is using EMA 69 and someone is using EMA 85 and someone is using EMA 310. Right? Those things are all, you know, up to you, what you feel comfortable with, what you've tested enough times and have the confidence to execute on, right? Mercury and Pierre are probably the two staple like trend traders in our industry. And I use slightly different EMAs from Mercury. He just uses the 200s. I use the 100 and the 200. He uses the SMA and the EMA. I just use the EMA. Pierre uses low time frame trends, and when he uses his daily trend, he's also using the same values of 13, 21, 34. Maybe his numbers are different too. Maybe it's 13, 25, whatever, right? I don't even remember the numbers he uses. He uses the SMA 100. I don't use that. He uses the, you know, he uses a bunch of different things that I don't use as well. But what is the core lesson here? It's like, learn the concepts from people, make it your own. And the most important thing is to have confidence in yourself to execute when you're getting the triggers that you are comfortable and confident and seen repeated, you know, a bunch of times. Not to basically blindly take someone else's system, because what if they start seeing different things, right? What if that system stops working? What if those signals stop working? You have no ability of your own to change. Now you're basically asking and begging Pierre and being like, hey man, do you see something different? Can I model whatever your changes? So you have no ability of your own to make these changes. And that's really, really important for longevity in crypto, because metas do change. And the difference between trading a trending market and trading a range-bound market is very, very different. I know Pierre is someone who's very disciplined and only trades trends. He's not going to blindly take price action trades and range-bound trades. I'm someone that is going to shift my trading from trend trading, from swing trading to low time frame trading to range trading, very often based on the meta that the market is in. Stay far away from signal groups if you want to be able to join and think for yourself. Go for the education. I fell in the same trap. Yeah, man, I 100,000,000% agree, right? I went into... There's two groups that I joined as a student in my journey. One is the Haven, to, like I said, learn from Pierre, because I was highly interested in his trend trading system. This was all the way back in 2022 for about a month and a half. I was in there actively. And then a couple months later, I wanted to learn order flow, and you know, I already knew who Magus was, and I went to learn from him. And later on, when he asked me to join as an analyst / educator in Paragon, that was like a big honor for me. And the reason I said yes is because it was not one of these cringe signal groups. It was a very dedicated educational group, and I learned a lot from him, invaluable lessons, which I have applied to my trading throughout the years. And you know, having him ask me to join as an analyst / educator was a big honor for me, and that's why I said yes, man. If he was just a, you know, cringe signal group too, I would have said no. Yeah, my low time frame system is completely different than my high time frame system. High time frame system, very simple. Low time frame system is a lot of order flow and different. It's more volume based. Let me put it that way. This is a lot more volume based. There's no volume that I really care about too much in my low time frame trading. Or excuse me, high time frame, medium time frame trading. I don't care too much about volume. The concepts that I use on low time frame are very different than the concepts that I use in high time frame. Do you recommend any videos that focus specifically on entering positions? I struggle a lot with low time frame execution and navigating between time frames. So here's the thing that you need to do with entry execution. what's more important than the entry is finding places on the chart where it's very easy to identify where you're wrong in a thesis, right? So if you have a thesis that, you know, let's use range trading for an example, because I think that's the easiest concept on the market, right? Range trading or liquidity or order blocks. So basically price action trading. So price action trading, I find the easiest to teach conceptually. It has the easiest framework and easiest invalidation. So if you're just basically trading a range and you're just like, this is our range high, range mid, range low, and you have your game plan marked out like this, and you're like, I want to execute in the location where I find it to be the easiest to identify an invalidation. So if I'm saying that I want to be long biased and I enter here, I have to eat all this drawdown, right? And basically say, oh, I'm going to DCA and DCA and DCA and DCA and DCA. And then, you know, this is your invalidation that we're basically losing the range. We still have bearish market structure. There are no breakers. There's no selling climax. There's nothing like this. You know you're wrong, but you've just eaten a terrible drawdown just to get that position instead of having patience. When it comes to your locations, that's how you know you want to get an entry trigger. Right now, there's several entry triggers that you could use. There's price action ones based on market structure, right? If you have lower highs and lower lows, and then you break structure, right? You're taking out the high that led to the last low. You're basically now speculating that we're going to put in a higher low, right? Higher low relative to this low. This low becomes your invalidation. This becomes your entry. Your take profit becomes either a higher high or some other generalized liquidity along that path. Maybe you can overextend and take it to mid-range, right? These are the ways that you get into entries in the locations that you want. This is one example of an entry trigger. There's so many that you could point out. There's liquidity sweeps. There's, hey, we've got this, you know, low here. If we can get a really good reaction underneath this low, I want to take an entry. If we start bleeding under that low, that is not what I want to see. That's your invalidation. But you've at least positioned in the location that gives you the highest EV as far as understanding an invalidation. That is more important than just understanding how to enter. It's understanding where you're wrong. So you kind of reverse engineer it. If I enter here, I'm wrong with X, right? And find those locations on the chart, and that'll help you with your entries a lot better. And the person that taught me to think like that originally was Trader XO. I think he was invaluable to teach me that, you know, the hard stop losses are kind of this mid-curve thought process, and understanding where you're wrong is much more important. So the value of having invalidations in your trading is really, really important. How do you articulate the overall truth that allows so many different systems to be equally valid? I would say this way: trading is a sport. You know, I can use a couple different metaphors, right? I could say, let me think about how I want to explain this, because I like using metaphors. I think it's easier way to teach, but basically, I'll say it like this. Trading's a sport, right? The object of every sport is to win, either score goals or rack up points on the scoreboard to beat your opponents, right? You can play soccer, you can play tennis, you can play basketball. They're all different sports. Each sport has a lot of parallels to other sports, but they're not identical, the same. They're still sitting in the same category of being a quote-unquote sport. Trading is kind of the same way. There's different multiple ways to attack the market. The ideas and concept tend to overlap a lot. The indicators tend to overlap sometimes too, right? So like I said right here, if you're an EMA trader, right? If you're trading EMAs and you don't care about anything else and you're just caring about EMAs, you're looking at what is the most respected high time frame trend in this graph. The daily trend took us from our last range out of the range. We held it so many times on the way up. When we broke and started crabbing around it, now we're using it as resistance, 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 resistance. So when we tag this region, it's probably going to be resistance, especially after the move that we got, this 11,000, 12,000, whatever this thing move it was. It's probably going to be resistance. Now, if you're just someone that's trading ranges, right? And you're saying, this is my range low, right? This is my range high. We got a big range breakdown. Now we're bearishly testing that range, right? That's a concept right there. It's overlapping with the EMAs. What's another one? If you're someone who's using volume profile, you're saying this is your composite value area high, composite value area low. We've lost our composite. Now we're trading underneath it. If we re-accept into it, we can trade to the other side. But probably first test, best test, you're going to get rejected here. Right? So I've just given you three different systems. Someone who's using volume tools, someone who's using EMA, someone who's using ranges. They're all kind of overlapping in the same ideology. shitcoin reserve. I mean, it really is. We haven't even talked about the shitcoin reserve yet, but you know, my thoughts on that is you know, we thought Trump is going to be this overwhelming, you know, lover of crypto, and to his credit, he has delivered on a lot of the promises that he made, you know, firing Gary Gensler and you know, putting forth a council to basically cement regulations for crypto in the US, and you know, probably several other things. He's talking about SBR. So he's coming with his promises, but he's doing it in the way that any politician would to benefit, you know, the people he's working with, the shady backroom door people. So the shitcoin reserve, including XRP and Cardano, is, you know, you got people chirping in his ear, right? He doesn't know crypto. His organization doesn't understand crypto. He doesn't know the difference between Ethereum and Cardano and XRP and Solana and Bitcoin. He doesn't understand that, but he's got people that are basically being like, hey, Trump, we believe this is the best. And since he's all America first, obviously the cryptos that were developed in America, like Cardano and XRP and HBAR, are getting a lot more of a pump and narrative behind them because of him. So there's levels to it, right? Is it overall good for crypto? Time will tell, right? As far as right now, you know, him getting elected helped us make this move. We didn't really have a narrative in this other than, hey, Trump could be bullish for crypto. So, you know, we're here in large part because of Trump. Did we also top the entirety of the altcoin market probably because he launched a meme coin? Yes, right? So give and takes. I don't really have any strong thoughts on the shitcoin reserve as for now. Like, being someone that is a Bitcoiner at heart, it sucks to see XRP and Cardano and all this junk being included in whatever the shitcoin reserve is, but it is what it is, man. Do you plan to fully exit the market this year, assuming you believe the general 4-year cycle? Do you save Bitcoin and other coins long-term regardless of cycles? Like I explained, so you must have come in a little bit later in the stream, totally fine, but I talked about this earlier. I look at everything as a trade. The only thing that I don't look at as a trade is Bitcoin. I have a Bitcoin stack that's in cold storage that I'm not touching or trading. I'm holding it long-term. Maybe if, you know, I don't know, right? That's neither here nor there, but literally everything else is a trade, right? I've been trading around PEPE for 2 years, since 2023. I've taken several spot positions on PEPE in accumulation ranges and sold into trend losses, and then I reaccumulate again, right? So all of it is a trade. So I'm not doing it on this 4-year cycle thesis. I think that's very mid-curve. I think that's very, very low IQ to think about crypto as this 4-year cycle asset class, and you're just unnecessarily taking 80% drawdowns along the way, not knowing if your coins are going to come back or not. It's all a trade, right? Whether you're taking high time frame trades, daily trend trades, weekly trend trades, it's all a trade. Keep that in mind. Do I teach 1-minute time frame in Paragon? Yeah, I have a educational video on it where I teach the system. Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a glass of water. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay. It's funny how bottoms this cycle have all been psychological numbers too, right? Very scary numbers that deviate from the norm of what you've been seeing for the past few months. So when we were trading in this area right here, we're just so used to seeing 20K, 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 18K, 19K, whatever, right? When we leave our 2-month meta of hearing 15K, this feels very euphoric at 20. When we're seeing 20, 21, 22, 23, 21, 22, 23, 24, right, 25, we're seeing these numbers repeatedly over the course of 2 months, a wick down to 19 feels very scary. Psychologically, seeing 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, seeing 19 is a scary moment, right? Similar right here. When you're used to seeing 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, seeing 39 is a scary moment. When you're used to seeing 50 and 50 and 60 and 50 and 60, seeing 49 is a scary moment. Again, right here, when you're used to seeing 80 and 90 and 100 and 80 and 90 and 100, seeing 79 is a scary moment. I think it's very funny that the market tends to bottom at these numbers that psychologically you're not used to seeing. Why do I make 35% on a 10K demo account, but only single digits on a live account? Aha, now you're getting it. Trading is not X's and O's. Trading is 5% charts. Once you understand a system and you have a framework for execution, all it comes down to is discipline and executing, managing your mental fortitude, sticking to your game plans, taking the trades that you plan and not taking trades that you don't plan, right? What's the saying in markets? We plan trades that we don't take, and we take trades that we don't plan. Cutting out all these things and maintaining your discipline is the key to being successful at trading long term. A lot of people can one time or another run up an account and then they'll just nuke it, right? A lot of times people can trade and they know what they're kind of doing, and they'll trade and become a trader, right? Break even or scratch trader. Not many people can do this over several months and years, right? Why? Because all it takes is one little lapse in judgment and discipline, and a change in sizing, and a change in execution, and getting lazy in your preparation, and not doing the homework before you enter a trade. All it takes is one of those with a lack of discipline. Maybe you're full of yourself. I'm doing so good. I'm so good. I'm so good. It's time to size up. Let me 3x my size on this next trade. Boom. You get hit with a big loss. Now you're thinking for the next time, all I need to do is make it back. I'm going to make it back in one trade. I'm going to make it back really fast. I really want to be up here, right? And you're taking bigger size positions to try to get back, and you end up blowing up the entire account, right? You're basically coming down to like, you know, a small gain, and you just like say, fuck this account, right? I don't even give a shit anymore, right? And you just all in the next trade. Too many people do these kind of things. So why is it easier to trade in a demo account? You don't feel any emotions. It doesn't matter. It's not real money. It's paper trading. You can size however the fuck you want. You can let your trades play out. You're not going to scratch yourself up at entry. You see an entry that comes in like this, and you take a trade, and while it does all this kind of bullshit at your entry and you go underwater and above water, that fake account, that demo account, you feel nothing. You just hold it. You're like, if I get stopped, I get stopped. In a live account, you're seeing real numbers, real money that you worked in your real life to earn. And when you go underwater, you feel that pain, you feel that stress, you feel that anxiety, and you go, oh my God, it's doing nothing, it's doing nothing, it's doing nothing. Let me just close. Like, I don't want to take a full stop. And then it rips to your target. These things happen with live trading accounts. They're not going to happen on a demo account. So what I would say for you, my suggestion, first of all, size down, right? If you're having trouble managing your emotions, size down and trade a live account. Don't trade a fake account or a paper account or a demo account. Don't trade that. It's giving you no value. You're actually nerfing your own progress and your own gains by only playing half the game. You're playing with training wheels on, right? You're not even riding a bike. You're cutting out the important lessons that you need for trading, man. I caught your 79 bottom call. Nice, man. Love to hear it. Thanks. It came in late. I agree with your no cycle approach. I just meant in terms of possibly selling Bitcoin stack. If you expect some type of blow off, wouldn't that make sense even with cold stored Bitcoin? It's up to you, man. Everyone's got their own strategy. Some things are an investment, right? And you separate from your trading, and you separate from your active stack, and you separate from your net worth, and you're just holding it as an investment. I'm not telling you to do that. You don't have to do that. No one has to do it my way. No one has to think about it my way. It's just something that I'm doing with my own personal Bitcoin stack. Remember, there are tax obligations when you do sell, right? Remember that too. What do you think of Solana? Could it get back above the all-time high again? I think it can. I think it has a lot of roadblocks in the way. right? I think for the first time this entire cycle, it looks worse. It's probably the worst it's looked this entire cycle, being as that, you know, you built an 8-month range, you failed to get extension above it, right, and maintain new values. So basically what a successful repricing looks like, I talked about this in last week's stream. You build an accumulation range, you mark up, you mark down, you build a higher accumulation range, you mark up, you mark down, you build a higher accumulation range. This is the first time that Solana's failed to do that. It's actually built an accumulation, marked up, and dropped all the way back into that accumulation. What does Solana need to do now? It needs to reclaim 174. It needs to stay above 174. How's the weekly trend look? For the first time this cycle, we are significantly trading below this. You can make some arguments in this region that we did that, but what were we doing? We still had our range low. What are we doing here? We're trading below our local range low, right? So there's different kind of nuanced takes on what Solana needs. I think it just needs time. So why would I predict? I don't care to predict, right? I'm not looking for clout. I'm not looking to be this guy that's like headstrong. Yes, Solana has to go to $500 this cycle, right? When it's in these strong high time frame uptrending structures, you can make those cases. But when the kind of meta shifts on Solana, I'm taking a step back and I'm saying, okay, you tell me what you want to do, right? When I see triggers and stuff that entice me to take trades and look for these higher valuations, I will do that. As of right now, I don't see the case for it yet. But it's not to say that it won't happen. We just need time, right? We're going to stop there real quick. I'm going to kind of ask and be the cringe guy. If you guys haven't hit the like button, do me a favor and do so. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, it would mean a lot to me if you could hit the subscribe button, man. As always, like if you don't enjoy my streams, feel free to come back at some time and unsubscribe. But if you do check out the streams week to week and you enjoy them, it'd be pretty cool if you could hit the subscribe button. How do you build the discipline to choose one concept indicator when I'm tempted to try everyone's concepts? Yeah, man. So in the beginning, tinker with things, right? It's not a bad thing to try a bunch of stuff out, but eventually you're going to have to pick one. You can't. And the reason I have a couple different things on my screen is because I know what I'm looking for. I know when it's appropriate to use EMAs and I know when it's not. I know when it's appropriate to use ranges and I know when it's not. I know when it's appropriate to use liquidity concepts and I know when it's not. That comes with time and experience in markets. In the beginning, I would say the easiest way to become consistent in your trading and build confidence is start with the simplest system possible that you find fun. That is very crucial. You have to enjoy it. You have to feel excited to look at your charts. You have to feel excited to look at whatever you're looking at, whether it's order flow or 1-minute charts or VWAPs or DOM, it doesn't matter, right? You have to enjoy it. So my advice to you, if you're in the tinkering phase, continue tinkering. Eventually you're going to say that you like one thing more than the others, and you have to have the discipline to just execute on those ideas and ignore the rest. When you get comfortable with that one thing, you can add more things. Any tips for which range to accumulate Bitcoin now if you had to choose? Yeah, I would say there's here's the thing. It's your expectation, right? It's your baseline expectation. How long are you willing to hold this trade? What kind of value proposition are you looking for? What targets are you looking for? How feasible are those targets? And what kind of loss are you willing to take if you're wrong, right? All these things matter when it comes to making a game plan. My game plans are going to be different than yours, right? So if I had to blindly just throw something out here, it's going to be very difficult to tell someone, exactly where they should be buying and selling and everything like that. I think the easiest thing I could say for you right now is the weekly trend is holding. We had a massive wick above this weekly trend. You basically do not want the daily trend to bully you below here, right? I wouldn't want to see this. I wouldn't want to see the daily trend continue to bully me underneath the weekly. I would say this looks pretty ugly, right? If this were to happen, I wouldn't accumulate Bitcoin myself. I would wait for it to go fucking sideways for a long time, for the daily trend to be flipped, for the weekly trend to be flipped, for this bullish market structure to come, and I would be comfortable buying higher rather than buying lower. Because the problem with buying lower in something like crypto is, yeah, you can get a good discount relative to prior price, but this thing can just keep nuking on you and just keep nuking on you and just keep nuking on you. And you'll just keep DCAing in until you feel so much pain that you eventually cut the entirety of the position. Same concept for trading and accumulating and spot buying and everything like that. You just need really strong invalidations for your pickups. Who are other educators like you on YouTube? I follow XO and SC. I think XO is phenomenal. So yeah, I'll write some down that I know that are on YouTube. Oops. Jeez. Hold on. That's funny. They all have trader in their name. That's actually hilarious. I've never noticed that. These are the 4 people that I know stream regularly outside of me. And all 4 of them will provide you with value. Actually, Charlie streams too. Why am I forgetting Charlie? Who else streams? Let me go through my let me go through my own subscriber thing. Let's see. I know Fallis streams, but he streams on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, excuse me, Twitch. Yeah, man, these are the people I recommend. These 5. Took 8 pages of notes the other day on your bottoms stream, planning on joining Paragon. Damn, 8 pages, bro. I love that. That's inspiring to me too, man, because that's like, that's showing me how badly someone wants it, right? That whether all those 8 pages are going to be valuable to you in a few weeks, the fact that you sat there and you studied, you're going one step beyond anyone else that's at your level, right? So your peers, the people that you're currently competing with, they're not doing that, right? So that just shows me that, like, you know, certain people have a work ethic that others can't match, right? So you're on your way, man. I want to come shadow for you for a week. I'll give you chicken tenders. Come down, baby. Come on over. Hope you're doing well, bro. We haven't talked in a minute. Don't we usually fill these wicks at some point, at least 50%? Let's see. Did we fill this wick? No. What other wicks? All right, let's look through it. We didn't fill this wick. We did fill some of this. Right, this was a capitulation event. We did fill some of this. We didn't fill this wick. We filled some of this wick, right? We're already starting to fill some of this wick. Is this a high value way to look at markets though? I don't think so. So do we have 1 case of not, 1 where we kind of did, 2 cases of not, and then, so we have a 50-50 shot. So you have a coin flip shot on betting on that as your framework. Not very good odds to bet on something if it's 50-50. Mike F, just Bitcoin. What's up, Nick? What up, bro? Hopefully you're having a good week. Pierre, Runner, Fallis. Yeah, I didn't, is Pierre trading publicly now? Not publicly. Is he streaming publicly now? Because that's sick, bro. I've had him on my stream a few times because, like I said, he's taught me a lot. I really respect the guy, man. Love to have him on streams. Runner, I don't know much about Runner, but yeah, I think he does stream. I do think he streams. He trades the market in a different way than me, I believe. I think he's very news-based or event-based is how he trades, I believe. Stoic, Luxury, and Magus for Twitter content. Awesome. I wish I could just like put people's messages on screen. That's one of the largest weekly wicks I've seen on Bitcoin. No? Let's check it out. What percent of the wick is this? 17% wick. I mean, you're probably right. What's this one? 11%. Eyeball test. Here's 17% wick right here. 17 and 17. So there you go. May 2021, you had a 17% wick, but you also had a fucking 38% nuke. Oh, okay. Hold on. Here's a 32% wick. So one of the biggest for sure. This is 15% on the Japan yen nuke. Everything is 50-50 if you think about it. Either happens or it don't. You know, if we want to be lazy, we could say it like that. But you and I both know that's not reality. Thoughts on Don Alt? I don't know. Good trader, German guy. Been around a long time. Billionaire. I don't really have any takes on him other than that, man. I follow him. I know he's good. I've seen, you know, here's the thing that I'll say about traders that gather my respect. Anyone who posts a P&L curve on Twitter has my respect. I posted my 2024 full year P&L curve. I haven't seen one person on the timeline do that. They'll post big wins. They'll post big trades. No one has the courage to post a full year P&L curve because they showboat their massive wins. They don't talk about their losses, right? In a P&L curve, you can't hide that. And Don Alt posts his P&L curve, so I know that he's a legitimate trader. A runner too. Runner's another guy that I've seen post P&L curves. Now that I think about it, I can't really think of anyone else that's doing that. I just bought the Mastering the Mental Game of Trading book. Do you know this book? Because Morin recommended it. I don't recommend trading books in general because I think doing is better than reading. I think active learning is better than this passive learning, in my opinion, right? I'm not going to tell you not to read it. I just, I don't have a book recommendation list or anything like that as far as trading goes. I don't think trading books are the way to go. I think if anything, psychology books will help. But then again, you can look at like sports psychology or anything like that, because I think that applies a lot to trading. It's the mindset that you have to carry as far as using this as or thinking of this as a profession, and not thinking of this as like a gambling arena. What do you think of everyone comparing yesterday's pump to the President Xi 2019 candle? I wasn't around for that. I wasn't trading crypto for that, so I have no idea, man. Let's take a look, though. I know exactly where that is on the chart. That's this one. That's this candle right here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I wasn't here for that, so I can't really draw any parallels, but I know exactly where it is. I don't know, man. I'm not going to compare it to that myself. But like I said it earlier in the stream, I think you'll gather more value comparing this cycle to this cycle versus comparing this cycle to other cycles. I think there's more value in that. Thoughts on monthly candle wicks showing bottoms and tops? I don't know. No thoughts on that. I'm not using that. My P&L curve is a slow grind up into a big nuke. What would you advise? You lost your discipline. So if you're able to do this, you were doing something right. If you ended up doing this, you did something wrong. Figure out what this thing was and just don't do it. Whether it was your sizing or your entry or execution or your thought process or the type of trade you took or the, deviating from your game plans, something you did cause this. It was not the market. You made a conscious decision. If it's just a spot portfolio and you're just buying spot and the market's just going up only and it does this, then you had no skill to begin with. right? You had no skill to begin with. You're just being carried by the wave of the market. But if you're actively trading and you traded yourself into a P&L curve that looks like this, you made a mistake here. It wasn't the market that did it. You need to journal and figure out what mistake you made and just not do that mistake, man. I don't know what you did, you know? So if I don't know what you did, I can't advise you. I just know that something you did caused this. No books. I understand the thought process. However, how would you go about learning harmonics? Or is that not a style you play with? What are harmonics? Is that Elliott waves? Yeah, I don't use that. Can't teach it. Don't know it. No idea how to use it. Not for me. Okay, how far are we into the stream? Hour and 20. All right, I can start looking at some altcoins. So let's look at it. So I'm going to start here with my thought process on some altcoins that are on my list. So if we're looking at a coin like this, right, that marked up, did not develop any new value higher, right? Here's an accumulation range. Let's even use, let's do this one. Nope. This chart. So what's happening here? Big markup, accumulation range higher to original value. Big markup, accumulation range higher to original value. Big markup, retrace back into prior value. Step away from something that is repricing. So repricing, no longer repricing, retracing to old value, right? Failed repricing. What does this need to do to get me to be bullish? Flip market structure, flip trends, flip EMAs, right? There's nothing here yet for me to work with as far as a bull. It's just a high time frame downtrend. There are certain levels that you can work with as far as like this one goes. There's certain EMAs that you can work with as far as the weekly trend goes. When all of these are lost, what is the bull case here as of this moment? So people feeling extreme FOMO and being like, I need a position. Tell me what your bull case is. You're basically blindly predicting a bottom without one starting to form. How is one going to form? I talked about this last week in last week's stream. It's going to need to round off. Daily trends are going to have to be flipped. New, fresh, bullish market structure needs to be developed. High time frame EMAs need to be flipped. All of this leads to a bullish market structure. This is going to take days and weeks to play out. You have time. This is how 95% of altcoins in the market look. So if your altcoin looks like this, as I've just explained, and you request that altcoin, I'm going to say the exact same thing again and again and again and again, which is going to be fun for no one. So let's repeat this so we're all on the same page here. Number one, if your altcoin is in this scenario where it had a value, it marked up, and it's repricing higher than the original value, this is a coin that can, down the line, possibly get to new all-time highs. If your coin is a coin that developed value, marked up, and retraced all the way back to that prior value, it's less likely, this is basically the market has finally found saturation of price and valuation. Less likely that this coin is going to go parabolic to make new all-time highs. Not saying it won't, I'm just saying, statistically speaking, less likely. Now, where is the bullish market structure? Where is the accumulation range? Where are the trend flips? Non-existent. What you need to see for a coin like this is sideways price action. The same way this went sideways for multiple months. The same way this went sideways for multiple months. And eventually made fresh bullish market structure and started reclaiming trends on high time frame EMAs and breaking out of accumulation ranges, right? Same thing here. Went sideways, reclaimed some trends. I know this was a very event-driven, Coinbase adding and all this kind of stuff. Bitcoin breaking out of 100K or breaking out of 60K and 70K. A lot of event-driven stuff happening here, but still, it took time. Where would you say we are on PEPE and, you know, parallel to 40 other coins in the market, or what am I saying, 40? 95% of coins in the market were very early on in this range. So chances are whatever coin you request from here on out is going to be some version of this, right? And I don't think I need to go through every single coin and explain what I'm looking for to be bullish on that coin if it looks like this. So let's move on. Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid, I think it's developing a new composite value down at these range lows. It's just kind of crabbing. Whichever way this breaks out is probably going to give you a pretty big move. So if we break out bullishly to the upside, we'll probably push pretty high. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Right? If this breaks out to the upside out of this value, we'll probably get a push pretty high. 23, 24, something like that. If we lose this range low and we break down from this value, we're definitely coming down to the 15s and 14s. So those are the two if-then scenarios that I want to play with on Hyperliquid. FWOG, people have been asking me about this coin because it's very bullish on this for a very long time. It basically went down 99% or something, right? Complete Burj Khalifa, fell apart, got destroyed. The thing that I've been saying since this downtrend started, I need it to go sideways. The same thing I said on PEPE, I need it to go sideways. For the first time, it looks like it's starting to go sideways, right? What'll happen if we extend above the daily trend? It's very possible that we can fill a gap to the weekly, right? In this scenario, this probably becomes your range high. This becomes your range low. This is going to be the sideways. Eventually, you may flip these weekly trends, and then you get a big pump. Time. We need time. Athena, same thing, right? Bullish thing about Athena, trading back into weekly demand, right? Last down move before the up parabolic move, right? Trading back into it, 1, 2, 3. We're in the 4th week of kind of sitting right here. Eventually, this will get relief. It'll form a range high. It'll probably revisit the range lows. We need to reclaim the weekly trend. Again, time is needed. Grass. Okay. I think this one is one of the best ones, right? In the entire market, I think this is one of the best looking coins. So what has Grass done? It built a big composite value. It has a tremendous respect for the listing anchored VWAP. Support. Loss of support, look at the devastation of selling that occurs. On the way up, rejection, right? A bit of consolidation and a breakthrough. So now we're trading above the listing anchored. If we come back down into the listing anchored VWAP and we come back down to the composite value very low, I think this is a really clean level to defend on Grass to look for continuation to the other side. I think the first target would obviously be like probably these equal highs, maybe the high that we set right here, right? So these two highs and overextension would be kind of 320. I think this is one of the only good coins in the market right now. You could make the case for maybe XRP, which I'll look at next. So definitely different than the rest of the market. Why? Reclaim of trends. Fresh, bullish, daily, market structure, right? Completely different scenario than the other 3-4 coins that we looked at. XRP. Taking out the high that led to the low, right? Here's your big point of breakdown. Here's your daily trend. So the daily trend is pushing up. We have confluence with the 4-hour trend. If this is going to get continuation, it's going to come from here. It's going to come from here. If we start losing this, it's probably going to fully retrace back down to the 220s, maybe even 195. This is a very clean location for XRP to potentially get continuation. It's also in the news. It's also part of the Shitcoin reserve. So it's very possible for this to trade higher. And let's mark out a level for this, something like this. It already traded into there. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, so what I would say, if this region ends up holding, this is kind of your take profit level. I'm gonna stop there and go back to chat. All right, I'm scrolling up. I missed a lot of stuff. Teach me how to TA. Well, if you watch enough of my streams, you're gonna learn. Do you watch Bitcoin dominance when bidding alts? No, I look at each altcoin as its own thing. Is there journaling tips in Paragon? Yeah, I have a video on journaling. In fact, over the next few weeks, I'm going to redo all my educational stuff. I think I have currently I have around 20 videos, which amounts to probably 15 hours off the top of my head. I could be wrong. 15 hours of educational content in there. But some of the feedback I got is people would appreciate like shorter videos. So I think what I'm going to do is instead of 20 videos, I'm end up making like 100 and just shortening each video a little bit. So I have to rework my education over the next few weeks and months. I can look at XMR. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It's not really doing much in the last 3 years. It's underperformed Ethereum from the cycle lows, but yeah, I think you know, this is nice. This is bullish market structure developing here. Yeah, it looks okay. Oh, thanks, guys. I was wondering why everyone was saying bless you, and then I remembered that I sneezed. What if you hold a spot bag of such a chart? You're basically taking the same, you're taking a new trade. So here's what I say. I have a podcast coming out with Stoic today, I believe. Maybe it's out. I haven't been on Twitter. But, you know, one of the questions I got asked, I think, was like, if you're holding down bad bags, what would you say? And I say it's a fresh trade, right? So if you bought something, look at this. All right, let's do it this way. This is your accumulation. Here's your high time frame trend. Here's your markup. Just ran out of trackpad. Right? There's your markup. Here's your markdown. Right? This is whatever happening. And the coin's like trading like this. Right? The coin's trading like this. So this is the full chart. Now, whether you bought here or here or here or here or here, it doesn't matter. Right? If you're still holding this coin as it enters this, you're taking a fresh trade. This unrealized loss, if you bought the top and you're sitting on unrealized loss, and let's say you put $100 into this coin and it's worth $20 now. That's it, right? Your $100 is $20 now. You can realize this loss by closing the position and go trade that $20 elsewhere. If you end up holding this coin, you are taking a brand new bet that this coin will be the best possible scenario to get your $20 back to $100. The 100 is gone. It's gone. It's not there anymore. It doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. Holding does not mean you've not taken a loss. The unrealized loss, you're at $20. What doesn't matter how you slice the pie, right? Same thing for someone that bought here. They bought at 10 and they're up at 20. It's the same thing, right? They were up at 100 at one point. It's gone. They're at 20 right now. This is your value. By holding this coin, it is the exact same as you never taking this trade and buying $20 of this coin at this very moment. There's no difference between when you bought 6 months ago, 1 year. Tax differences, yes, I understand. But as far as the trade in and of itself in a nutshell goes, you have $20 of exposure to this coin. If you're deciding to hold, you're basically making a brand new trade to buy $20 of this coin. That's how you need to put your framework in there. If your answer is, I want to buy $20 this coin here today, continue holding. If your answer is, I would never buy $20 this coin today, I don't ever want to do this, I think there's X, Y, and Z coins are better, sell it and move on. That's how you handle these unrealized round trips, whether you're in profit or down a bunch. This is what the reality of the situation is. This is how much money you have, and by holding, you are taking a brand new trade, whether you understand it or not. Listing anchored VWAP, or what you called it, is that a free indicator? I mean, it's built into TradingView. I don't know if it's free. It's right here, anchored VWAP. Someone else in chat may know whether it's a free indicator or not, but it's built into TradingView. Bull run is over. Look at AVAX. Bull run is over. Why would I want to look at AVAX, man? Do I listen to music while trading? Does it help me focus? Sometimes. I don't think it's a net positive or not. I think sometimes I just rather have silence. Sometimes I want music. Is there a free platform for footprint and bid ask skew? I know a lot of people use Trading Light and Exo charts. I think they have free versions, but I don't think they're completely free. I don't use them, so I don't know. Depends what your tax rules are though, but yeah. Yeah, here's what I'll tell you about taxes, guys. If you trade with taxes in mind, I think it's a losing effort because, you know, some people, they do this thing where they're like, oh, I'm up so much. I'm up like 10x and, you know, it's December. And if I hold 2 more months into February, I'm going to have long-term capital gains. And by that time, your coin does this. And yeah, great. You're in long-term capital gains. Congrats, you did it. But you just gave back all your money. So what does it matter? Versus the guy that pays short-term capital gains and sells up here when they get the signal to sell, like trend loss or market structure breaks or something. They take more money out. Yes, they pay more taxes, but they get more money in the bank. Versus this guy who pays less taxes and has less money in the bank. What are you using to calculate value areas? I'm using Key Level Suite by Leviathan. It showed me previous year value area high at 73K. I think maybe it's different based on the chart that you used. If you're using like KuCoin chart, it's going to be different. If you're using Binance Perps chart, it's going to be different. If you use Coinbase chart, it's going to be different. I'm using Paragon's VWAPs, so Paragon VWAP Suite. I'll look at Litecoin in a minute. I saw a lot of people request Litecoin. I'll look at FARTCOIN too. What are your thoughts on SSC dropping most crypto company cases overall on the market? I think it's a net positive. I don't know how much it's going to affect price action one way or another, but it's definitely a net positive, 100%. Two things are certain in life: death, and taxes. 3 things. Yeah. Using Bitcoin USD.P. I don't know if you're using the same one as me, which is Binance Perps. Your VWAP, your 2024 VWAP value area high should be around 79.4K. Shout out to all the Lucifer. Dude, I'm honored. I'm honored that Lucifer came to one of my streams, man. Lucifer's the homie from Magus' streams. He's made his way to mine, man. I'm doing something right. Half the drop of this has been extremely useful. Keep it up. Yeah, man. Thank you. Great thing is that for the first time, I don't need to ask about a chart because if I feel like I can draw the levels for myself and it worked out in the last week, I watched your stream since September. That's fucking sick, man. That's what I want to see. I want to see everyone be able to like take the education and lessons that I teach in the stream and apply it to their own trading rather than coming to me every week and be like, Doc, draw a level on this coin. And I know there's going to be newer people every stream that are going to want that education, which is why I do it every week for certain coins. But I think it's a futile exercise for me to go through every single coin and do the exact same thing. That being said, I know I owe you guys FARTCOIN, so let's do that. There's some, let's see, I think it's MEXC, more data. Yeah. Okay. So this is FARTCOIN's first, what you would call like life cycle, right? This is inception. This is the coin being launched and created, I believe, or being like at least known about, right? So this is the first absolute markup on FARTCOIN. We've retraced back. I wouldn't say that it's retraced to new lows because of the origin of the move, right? So this is what the market once upon a time valued it at. October 2024, this is our parabolic move. This is our retrace. So what are we down? 80% probably? 91%. Okay, fair enough. We need to see sideways price action. We need to see the EMAs be flipped. We need to see a range being formed. And I think it's off to an okay start, but still, there's so many checks that need to be formed here, right? It's going to make a move here. It's going to get bonked. It's going to come back down, right? We're going to do something like this. Eventually, these trends will be flipped. Eventually, you'll get fresh bullish market structure. Eventually, it'll build some steam and maybe go up again. Will this make new all-time highs or not? I can't predict. I have no fucking clue. I have no clue if the market's going to want to bid FARTCOIN again. Maybe it does. But again, there's no structure yet. There's no accumulation range yet. There's no trend flips yet. There's no structure breaks yet. There's no bullish market structure. There's nothing yet. There's nothing that allows me to say that with full confidence this level is going to hold and it's not going to go to zero, right? What would give me the confidence to position in FARTCOIN is time, sideways, trend flips, bullish market structure, things that allow me to build a high time frame invalidation that, look, this Chad has set this low, and then this Chad set this low, and look at the way the structure is flipping, look at the way the trends are flipping, look at the way market structure is flipping. Okay, I can possibly start building a bag here. I'm wrong here. That's my invalidation. I'm looking to take some profits here, maybe some profits here, and then maybe it goes to new all-time highs, and then I'll use the trend-based strategy of, okay, I'm just going to full stack sell when the trends are lost. So it's going to take time, man. Litecoin, I think, was the other thing. Let's go, baby. That's the Bitcoin alert. I'm going to come back to Litecoin. Hopefully that's not breaking your guys' eardrums. Sick. Man, after streams, my charts get disgusting. How can you action a volume delta and CVD? Those are tools. They're tools part of an order flow or volume-based system, either or in combination. I don't think on its own that either of them are actionable. They're just tools, right? You can use them in a system for sure, but yeah, you can't. Off the top of my head, I don't think you just build an actionable system around just those two tools. That's awesome, bro. I love to hear that. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words, guys. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Since you're a trader first, do you base your net worth in USD and try to go close to 100% stables when trends are lost? Yeah, I do. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what to call myself because I dabble in so many different things, right? Now I've added scalping to repertoire and I'm confident enough to say that, yeah, I can intraday trade. Maybe it's not scalping. Scalping by definition is like in and out of trades in under an hour, right? So maybe I don't always do that. Sometimes I get lucky and I can hit my targets in an hour. Like this morning, how long has it been? Right? It's been a couple hours. So yeah, wouldn't be considered a scalp. Either way, what I'm trying to say is I attack the market in different ways. I extract value in different ways. I use positional trading as a big weapon. What positional trading is buying spot bags and trying to sell them on trend loss. But yeah, I do basically, yeah, my net worth is calculated in dollars for sure. It's not calculated in Bitcoin. No, I don't think so because I have the ability to beat Bitcoin's returns. I can outperform Bitcoin, right? So yeah, you know, that I'm just measuring it in dollars. I think you could just make the mental calculation in Bitcoin. But either way, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I calculate in dollars. I don't know why I gave such a complicated answer to that. Volatility incoming. I find it hard to full stack Hitler as I don't want to miss out on gains in case I'm wrong, but I guess that comes with confidence. Brother, if you take a good trade, pay yourself for that trade, because the market doesn't just go, like, you've developed the skill set. If you can extract value from the market and you can take a coin from point A to point B and you've made money, you've done the thing. That's the thing. That's what we've all come here to do. We've come here to take coin from low to coin to high and then sell coin high and take dollars. You need to pay yourself in that moment and take the money. You did the thing. You did the thing that everyone wants to do, right? By holding, you're basically telling yourself, I have no ability to do this. I need the market to do all the work for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I hope it goes higher because I will never in my life, in my career, in my existence be able to do this again. This was the only shot that I've ever been able to do this. And yeah, maybe that comes early on with having no confidence in yourself, but you owe it to yourself if you're going to stick around in crypto long enough to develop confidence, to develop a skill set, to develop something that's repeatable over time. And you're not at the mercy of coins just going straight up into the right forever in order for you to make money. You ever talk macro econ, general US economic outlooks? Never, man. Never. I don't find interest in that, and I don't find value in it, and I don't find edge in it. There is absolutely no version of me that's able to listen to macroeconomic podcasts, Trump, politics, and make a discernible, educated, positional trade based on it. I've tried it in the past. I got really, like, the whole market was very macro based in 2022. And I thought that was something that I had to learn. And then I recognized that that's not something that's going to be valuable for me. I can just do, like, crypto's so nice because you can just trade charts. You can trade positioning, right? You can trade other people's mistakes. You can trade psychology. You can trade parabolas and trends. And you don't need to apply macro all the time. I think there's a couple times a year where it's very important. And the market gets very fixated and focused on macro. And in that case, like, you know, as long as I stick to the things that I'm good at, I'll be okay, right? If there ever comes a time where the things that I'm doing completely stop working and the whole crypto market flips on its head, then yes, you know, maybe I'm going to have to develop new skill sets and focus and branch out and learn macro. But as right now, nah, it ain't me. Talking about spot, by the way. Yeah, my answer was based on spot. Did you talk about Bitcoin at the start of the stream? Yes, I did. Like the stream. I'm going to start dropping dad jokes. Like the stream, and hopefully he'll give us one dad joke anyways. Thanks, Lucifer. What's your favorite indicator? You know, if you asked me that, like, if you asked me that 6 months ago, I would have said EMAs, but now things are getting very interesting. How I'm finding a better work-life balance trading intraday. I'm finding a much better work-life balance. I've talked about this several times about how trading H1, H4 is not very healthy for work-life balance. 6 4-hour candles in a chart per day. You know, sometimes you get entries in the middle of the night. It's very hard to sleep. It's very hard to have a social life. These things are difficult. This is my bread and butter, trading trends. I would still say EMAs because the value that I can extract from point A to point B on a high time frame using EMAs is going to be more value than trading low time frames. The overall net worth gain from capitalizing on high time frame moves is more valuable to me. The signals that I've gotten this cycle repeatedly on daily trend loss and knowing when to risk off has been invaluable to me. So yeah, I'm just gonna say EMAs again. Kimchi, do you think a woman wants you to hold? They want you to thrust. Jesus Christ. I love it. What's my bench PR? 245 by 1 rep back in 2021. 4 years ago. Right now, I'm currently benching fucking 115, bro. I haven't worked out in solid 3 years. I'm currently about a month and a half into working out again. I'm not very strong. I'm not very fast. I don't have much endurance. I don't have a six-pack. I am peak pathetic human form right now after being a physical specimen for my entire life. And that's because of markets. Like I said, work-life balance just wasn't there. I just dedicated everything to markets for years, man. I didn't give a fuck about the gym. I didn't care. I was like, I'm sitting in my house anyways. Who's going to see me? Who is your favorite counter indicator, or what, or who is your favorite counter indicator? Oh my God. I can't answer that on stream. I can't answer that publicly on stream. I'm sorry, man. I can't. But my favorite counter indicator, I've done a thread on this, is basically confidence and momentum. Divergences in confidence and momentum. You get people hyper confident in directional, in the direction when the chart no longer agrees with you. If you're hyper confident along an uptrend like this, fine. When you're hyper confident when this trend has been lost, fuck you. It's not going to happen. That's one of my favorite counter indicators, is when people get overconfident after trends break. You didn't want to have the balls to put your neck on the line during this, but now you're hyper confident. Nope, not going to happen. Can you show up how's your gym stats? Not much has changed since the tweet, Kimchi. It's about the same, but the good part is the weight loss is doing well. I'm 8 pounds down this year. The thing is, I think I could lose weight a lot faster, but I'm not in an extreme caloric deficit. I'm in a very mild caloric deficit, which is why the weight loss is going pretty slow. My health habits have improved, the diet is improved, but yeah, I'm still happy with that. Like, I think in order to be like shredded again, I need to be 172. I'm currently 192 or 193. Jawline's coming back already, which is kind of nice. I got the cheeks, man, for a little bit, which is kind of embarrassing. Kimchi, since we're friends, I'm probably just gonna dox you at some point. I'll show you pictures from 2021 and then kind of like peak fat from like a couple months ago. Are you considering TRT? Nope. Don't need it. I'm good. When you don't know what to do, what do you do by default to continue to improve? If I have no idea what to do, I have to take myself back years into the past. When I didn't know what to do, first thing I did was gather information, right? I had to first humble my ego and say that everything that I thought I knew was bullshit. I don't know anything. I have no skills. I have to completely humble myself, right? I have to humble myself and say, I don't know shit about fuck, or fuck about shit, or whatever that line is. And I have to rely on other people to teach me the fundamentals and basics. And that started in 2021. And then I build a framework. And I try not to take too many variables. So I'm not deviating from the framework that I'm building following one or two people types of trades, right? I'm taking the educations and I'm trying to apply it to my own trades. Next step is to not copy trade them. It's not to take their trades. It's to take trades based on your own fundamental merit and understanding of the system that you're trying to apply. Win, lose, or draw does not matter. Every single loss is a lesson, right? Journaling those lessons and being self-reflective. If you make a mistake in your trading, whether you're front running your entry or not, or maybe you're scratch trading, or you're front running your stop loss, whatever it may be, something that's in your power, journal it and reflect. And your only goal is next trade is to not to do that. And if you do it again, you have to journal it again. And if you do it again, you have to journal it again. And only after you've taken the trade and closed the trade should you look at what other traders did. Did they hit the trade? Were they successful? Oh, they did hit it. Why were they successful and why was I not successful? Is there something that I can learn from their execution that I was missing? Okay, I learned it. Next trade comes along. I do it again. I'm taking the same trade based on my merit and not theirs. When I close the trade, then I can look at how they took the trade and what I can learn from them. Again, journaling and self-reflecting. Once you start developing confidence that you can get the analysis on point, all it comes down to is execution. You improve your execution by improving your discipline. Once you have a understanding that you can take the same one trade or one setup any given time that it appears and you are successful in that one trade setup, then you start expanding your knowledge again. Then you start adding new tools and tinkering and saying, okay, I can get 1-hour trades repeatedly. This 1-hour trade appears once a week. I don't want to underperform Bitcoin in my trading. Is there something out there that can allow me to extract more value in my trading as far as extending targets, maybe trading trends, maybe trading different assets, maybe trading different time frames that give me more trade setups per week? Okay, start fresh again. I'm taking this one framework. I'm going to execute on this one framework. I'm not going to listen to other people's trades. I'm going to execute on it. I'm going to journal and reflect. Again and again and again. Eventually, you'll have too many tools in your charts. Then comes the pruning. Okay, this setup and this setup and this setup and this setup. Out of these, one is an S-tier setup that appears more often, that allows me to extract more value. This setup works, but doesn't appear that often, and I don't extract this much value. Boom, gone from your system. You're not taking that trade anymore, right? This indicator gives me high hit rate triggers and setups and gives me confluence with this other part of my system. I'm keeping that. This indicator often contradicts and conflicts with other indicators. I'm removing that one. Pruning. Second, simplicity. Move on again, right? Okay, my work-life balance now is thrown off because all I can do is trade weekly charts, daily charts, 4-hour charts, and 1-hour charts. I want to trade lower time frames. Okay. Does this system apply to lower time frames? Let me start tinkering and testing with it. Okay, not that good. Are there other tools and signals that I can use to help me execute on lower time frames? Yes, I can. All right, let's start executing, gathering data. What out of all these trades that I've taken over the past month are going to be the highest hit rate? What have I had the most success with? Okay, this one is the most successful. These 5 are not working that well. Fuck those 5. I'm not taking those 5 anymore. I'm just taking this one. Okay, this is giving me a 50% hit rate. What can I do to improve here? Maybe I'll ask questions to someone. Maybe I'll watch someone stream. Maybe I'll go seek education. Okay, they're taking it like this. Why are they taking it like this? Now let me go take the trade again myself. That's how you get better in trading. And you just do this over time and time and time and time and time. And I think everyone has the ability to do this. How tall am I? 6'1". Almost 6'2", 6'1" and something. That is actually so much alpha. See, this is what happens when I do the public stream. Sometimes, I end up sharing stuff that I would share in Paragon or, Either way, man, like I've been saying for the past 2 to 3 streams, I believe that the people that stick around when markets go to shit and coins go down 80% and they're still out here and wanting to learn, I owe it to those people a little bit more than the people that come to my streams when the markets are going up only and everyone's just screaming tickers in my chat and telling me that I'm poor because I don't own their coin. Oh, you didn't buy my meme coin and you bought your meme coin? I'm gonna like when that chit chatter happens, I get less and less motivated to share anything. Right? I don't enjoy those kind of market environments, but when it's like everything's fallen to shit and people still show up for the streams, I think like I owe it to these people or like you people a lot more because I always remember and I go back to this moment right here. Trader XO stuck around. Magus stuck around. These people stuck around during these moments and they continued teaching throughout all of this. They didn't go anywhere, right? And I want to be that guy for some of you now, Maybe you'll look back on 2 years from now, like let's do a hypothetical. This all goes to 0, right? We go back to 20K and there's another bull market and you guys are now the streamers and you're like, man, I remember Doc streams back up here. He taught me so much, right? That would be fulfilling for me. How much do you trade with the bear chart without indicators? How much is I'd say this to everyone. I can trade without indicators because I have a background in like ICT trading and range trading. So I can just trade price action if I wanted to, 100%. I've added indicators to the system to allow me, like I said in my rant from earlier, if you think that you understand a system well enough and you can expand beyond it and find ways to extract more value from the market rather than just waiting for these simple things that give you 2R setups or 3R setups or 1R setups or a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you can find more value, you owe it to yourself to do it. And that's why I've added indicators throughout my trading. You people. Yeah. All right. I think we should end the stream there. 2 hours in. We had a little good rant to end the stream with. Hopefully, you know, you guys can build upon it. I'll see you next week, and we'll continue looking at Bitcoin, alts, and leak some alpha here and there. But yeah, if you guys want to hear more from me, you know, this will be my one chill of the stream. Again, Paragon is not a signals group. I'm not going to give you entry, stop loss, exit, trigger, whatever. I do share my trades in there. But the goal is not to get you to copy trade me. The goal is to get you guys to learn to think for yourselves as I basically share everything that I learned in markets over the past 4 years. The thing that Magus says that I think is so smart is that eventually you guys will learn these things on your own, right? If you spend enough time in the markets, everything that, you know, I've learned, you have the ability to learn on your own over time. The only purpose of going to an educational group is to learn it a little bit faster. Learn it from someone who's already learned it. It's just like reading a trading book for those of you guys that are interested in that, which I think provide no value, by the way. But it's the same kind of concept, right? You can learn these things on your own, or you can learn it a little bit faster by someone that teaches it because they know their shit. So if you're interested, check it out. There'll be a link in the description box below. And I'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week.